What would you do if you were in search of a very large hidden cave, but were lost in the desert that was known for having strange lights, paranormal activity, and rattlesnakes? It was getting cold and dark. You didn't have warm clothes, a compass, any means of communication, or a navigation system. The only landmark you had to go off of was a large butte miles away. You could see it only when the lightning struck. The storm was getting close. What would you do? Well, you're about to find out what Destination Mystery did. Stay tuned. Mystery Media Group presents Destination Mystery, Case File 15. Okay, it's recording right now. So let's just go. Hello, I'm Melissa with Ghost Girl Memoirs.
And I'm Mike with Paranormal Treasure Hunter.
You are listening to Destination Mystery. Let's try that again. You are listening.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
You are 1, 2, 3.
You are listening to Destination Mystery. Maybe we shouldn't do that together.
Okay. Well, then you say it.
Okay.
I feel like I talk too much.
No, you do a much better job.
No.
You are listening to Mystery Media Group.
Yay! Hello, I'm Melissa with Ghost Girl Memoirs.
And I'm Mike with Paranormal Treasure Hunter, and you're listening to Destination Mystery.
As we stated last week, we are changing our platform and want to bring our listeners a higher quality podcast. We are sad to say that we will no longer be with the Paranormal Warehouse, but we have teamed up with Mystery Media Group to present you a paranormal show where we will not only tell the spooky history, but we'll go to the location where the spooky history originated.
We believe that paranormal is all around us, and every destination is an adventure. We never know what we're going to find on our adventures, but we do know that we'll have an interesting story to tell when we return. We are not going to the same location or telling the same story you've heard over and over. Most of our destinations will be locations you never knew existed. We are here to bring exciting and spooky new content and hope you'll join us on our journeys toward discovering the truth.
Today's episode takes place in the desert, which is surrounded by thousands of miles of government-owned property that you're not allowed to trespass on, hundreds of underground lava tubes and caves, sightings of strange lights in the sky, and desert predators. Oh, and paranormal activity.
So this summer, we decided to go visit one of these locations near this government property. There's a huge butte out in the middle of nowhere that borders it. And there's a road that goes all the way around it and up through the middle of this butte and gets on top. And you can see for miles and miles and miles. And I like to camp out there. We picked this little spot in the sagebrush because we never see a single soul. And the sky is wide open and it is crystal clear, and you can see stars and lights. And you can kind of see the lights from in the distance of the facility, this government facility. And we decided to go on top of that butte. That was the first night, right? To go up there and do our UFO party.
Yep, we had a UFO watch party happening.
You want to tell us about that?
I mean, it's a place that's been known for weird lights and just strange things. And so I thought it would be cool just to do a live watch party up there. And we had a bunch of people join in. And then a storm came in really quick and we had to get off the mountain. But I mean, we didn't see a UFO, but we saw weird helicopters.
We did. We saw the mysterious black helicopters. We all rode our four wheelers up to the top, and my daughters, they're overheated. Their ATV overheated, and so I went back to get them, and they were standing on their seat looking at something. And so when I went over to see what happened, they got all excited and said they saw some black helicopters flying just above the ground, and we were quite a bit above them. This is a pretty tall butte, and these helicopters came in somewhere from the south, right along the bottom of the desert, and then they disappeared into this facility. So we got the four wheeler running and rode back up to the top, and we're watching the sky, and it's such a beautiful view up there. You can see 4 miles.
And we were
Miles and miles.
we were higher. There was an airplane flying, and we were higher than the airplane. It
Yeah,
looked like a little bug flying around.
We were quite a bit higher than that, and that thing circled the butte many times before it got enough altitude to be above us.
Hmm.
And then we watched the helicopters and the planes to the north of us, and we watched the storm roll in from the south of us. And I don't know, that storm was beautiful to watch, the lightning and the thunder. But the closer it got, the more we're thinking we need to get off of this
Get off the mountain. The helicopters, I mean, that was interesting because, you hear all these weird stories about black helicopters, and they had their searchlights on. They were looking for something, but we didn't know what they were looking for. And I think we saw 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was like something from X-Files.
Yeah, it
They're
was
looking
strange.
for
Really strange to be looking down from a mountain or butte, whatever, and see those helicopters below you, and then the spotlight below that.
Yeah,
That's
on the
something
ground.
I'd never seen before. That was really strange.
It was. You were telling me about some lights and flashes from the ground.
Yeah, I didn't see those until we got back to camp, but we hurried off the mountain as fast as we could because the storm was rolling in and there was tons of lightning, and it started raining pretty hard. So we were trying to make it down the mountain, and as we got to the bottom, we saw that search vehicle.
I came down first, and there was a bunch of cars all over the desert. And I've been out there many times. I've never seen maybe one car, but nobody passed me. The lights would be way off in the distance. But this time there were lights everywhere. And I went down first and turned my headlights off and kind of parked in the sagebrush. And 6 or 8 SUVs, all the same color, came down right past where I was at. Some of them, there was one part there. They stopped. A bunch of people jumped out of one, hopped in the other, and they all took off. And I drove a little closer to this crossroads. There's like 4 or 5 roads met right there. And this big old diesel crew cab, some kind of security truck I don't know if he was following them, chasing them, or what, but he came through there, and he wasn't on government land right there. So I don't know what they were doing, and I don't know what they're looking for, but sure felt like an X-File episode.
Well, it made me, we were kind of close to the land.
We were really close to it, yeah.
And it just made me wonder why he was out there looking. I don't know if he was trying to find
Hopefully they weren't looking for us.
Yeah, I hope not. Well, we were on the trail just coming down the mountain, and we kind of turned our headlights and our four-wheelers and everything off and just sat there and watched for a minute, and he drove right past with his spotlight and didn't even seem to see us.
No, which may have been a good thing, or he's pretty bad at his job. One of the two.
Yeah. But I also remember you with your thermal scanning the desert as we got to the bottom, and you saw something on your thermal.
I saw something. It was biological because it was a lot hotter than everything else. And I told the kids, look, it's Bigfoot. I thought it was maybe a fence post because they get hot, but not like a human. They don't show up quite like a human. But when I scanned back, it was gone. So whatever it was biological, and it moved. And I was half kidding when I said it. And then once it was gone,
Time to go.
Yeah, time to go. We gone.
But yeah, my son and I were riding the last four-wheeler in the back, and I kept turning around to make sure nothing was following us. I was a little creeped out. Well, like, you're out here in the middle of nowhere, like,
Miles and miles.
and it's creepy at night. It's just,
especially you come from the city.
Yeah, that whole area is just, it's got weird vibes.
It's so desolate, so far out in the middle of nowhere that, yeah.
I mean, the only thing you can really hear are the coyotes howling, and that's
we're
about
assuming
it.
they're coyotes.
What?
We're assuming they were coyotes.
Well, true. You did hear a howl out there like the next week, didn't you?
Yes, we went out the next week. We found a spot closer to that cave that we're going to talk about that we could drive to. When this trip that we're talking about right now, our destination was to have that UFO party the one night, and the next day find this cave. And it is a giant cave out there, but it's just a spot on a map. There's no directions, there's no road, there's no nothing to it. You just kind of got to guess where it's at. But once we found the cave, we went out the next week. We drove quite a bit closer because my other daughters wanted to see this cave. And we drove to the cave, came home, and from the direction that we just came from, it's miles from any house, miles. There's very little life out there. It's so desolate. And just before it got dark, we put our chairs up on this knob of a hill to watch the sunset. And out of just habit or curiosity, we let out this little whoop, and we got an answer. So we did it again, and then we got another answer. And it wasn't the same as what we did. It wasn't an echo. It wasn't, unless coyotes can do it, but it was just one clear whoop each time we did it. And so I hopped on my four-wheeler and rode over to where I thought it was coming from, and then whooped, got nothing. Came back. Well, it must have scared it away, but we whooped, and sure enough, we could hear it again. And it went on for a good 30 minutes or so. And then it started to rain. I was wanting to go back the next morning to check for tracks, but the rain had washed everything away and sent us into the trailer because it was getting pretty wet. But that was interesting to hear. I don't know what it was.
Well, let's say it was Bigfoot or Sasquatch. People always, hey, there's nowhere for him to live out there. But if you get on the mountain, it's a pretty dense there's a lot of trees, and he could hide in there. And my other thought was there's caves all over, and they're huge.
Mm-hmm. And there are groups of trees, but they don't look that big. And it looks like it's flat. It looks like it's desolate. It looks like you can see for hundreds of miles, but the hills kind of roll. There's canyons, not deep ones, but deep enough that you could walk through it. And those groves of trees that look like maybe stands of sagebrush, when you drive up to them, they're quite a bit taller than they look. So there's stuff out there living that you just never would see.
And as far as food, there's a lot of cattle that go out there to graze. And there's, water sources from the cattle all over. Plus there was like little water sources here and there.
Salt licks and stuff.
In the caves, there was water dripping. So if they were hiding out in the caves, that would make, I don't know. It blows my mind that people can't even open their mind to believe that it could exist. This land was on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles of government-owned property that's just wilderness, desert, and nobody's allowed on it. So they wouldn't get seen.
Yeah. That could have been what they were looking for that night. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. You never would think that you would hear one out there, and I didn't hear it. I wasn't with Mike when he went back to listen, but he sent me the audio. All they had with them was a cell phone.
And it was pretty windy.
So they recorded it on a cell phone and sent it to me to see if I could clean it up a little bit. And I couldn't hear much with all the wind blowing on the recording. So I put it into, I use Adobe Audition, and you can see like the wave files, and you can see the different color of the frequencies and stuff. And after I took out the wind, there was like these really strong purple frequencies that were visible, and you could kind of hear your small little whoop, and then you'd see that right after. So I'm assuming that's what you were hearing, but it was really hard to hear on my end. But when I cleaned up the audio and kind of amplified it a little bit, to me, it was actually, it sounded like clicking, like two people talking back and forth and clicking. Like if you've ever seen Signs.
Oh,
Signs, right?
Like that. Oh yeah, love Signs.
Like when they're in the cornfield and you hear that click, 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 click.
The chittering.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. And I was like, holy crap, dude, this ain't no Bigfoot. This is an alien. Sounded weird.
Didn't you say it was similar to that episode on Crime Junkies where they get that weird phone call?
Yes. Henry, I can't remember the name of the guy. There's an episode of Crime Junkies where this guy disappears, this man, and he calls his wife as something's happening to him, and whatever is on the phone with him or next to him is terrifying. The voicemail that he leaves is terrifying.
You said it sounded like that.
Yeah, it did.
While I was there, I didn't hear any. There was just two people. Well, my daughter and her friend, but they were inside. It was just us and whatever it was making that noise back. But we were standing on a hill. I mean, when I say hill, they're not very big, but enough that we could see the sunset. And there's a canyon below us. Not very deep, but enough that you could walk a long ways and never be seen from very far away. But that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. But when we got back off the mountain and went back to camp that first night, that's when I saw the weird lights. And I only saw about 3 of them, and they were blue, but they looked like swamp gas kind of coming up from the ground and then just kind of dissipating as they went up, which is weird because there's no swamp out there. I mean, it's as dry as can be.
You sure it wasn't behind Curtis's chair?
Well, there could have been.
Could have been green.
These were further out. But I know too, though, that there's been a lot of stories about there's a government facility out there that everybody swears is surrounded by some sort of fog all the time. And you can't really, like if you're up high or driving in the car, you cannot see. You could see that there's buildings there, but not. It's almost like looking in a mirage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't know. There's a theory that they have this fog surround the facility so nobody can really see what's going on.
When those planes or trucks come in, they can't tell what's going on.
So maybe that's what the blue light type things were. I have no clue. They were weird though. Yeah. Curtis joining us. He was on this trip with us. It was exciting.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Next morning, we get up and get all ready to go four-wheeling and find this cave.
About 80 degrees. But we didn't bring anything warm because it was 80 degrees. So we didn't think about needing to be anything warm. So on Google Earth, I found this spot on a map that said cave. And I always like to go find caves. It's one of my favorite things. So we spent how many hours looking for this stupid cave?
Well, we left at 9 in the morning, didn't we?
Yeah, we didn't find the cave till 5 o'clock.
Yeah, till 5.
We rode 70 miles on our four-wheeler trying to find that cave. Because there's no road signs, there's no turn this way, there's no internet reception, there's no nothing. It's just dead reckoning is the only way you can find that place. And I knew where it was.
Sorry, I was saying, even once we got there, I was like, where is it?
because you can't even see it.
The road, I wouldn't call it a road. The path goes right by it, and it's this little dent in the ground. And when I saw that little dent, I was pissed because we spent 70 all day. We rode 70 miles, and here's this little dent in the ground. I was kind of mad, to be honest, but we got that far. We're like, we ought to go in there and check it out.
Plus, it had just started to rain, so we needed to get out of the rain.
Yeah, but here it is, 5 o'clock at night, 70 miles away from the car, and we're just getting started. What should we have done, Curtis?
We went back to the camp and came up the next morning.
Now that we know
Probably should have, but screw that. We're going in the cave.
we spent all day looking for it. We finally found it. But I was a little disappointed, too. I'm like, really? This is it? But once we got inside, what did we find, Curtis?
We split off into two. We went down the right side first, and there was nothing. And you go down the left side, and it was 6 miles in.
And 3 levels. We had to climb
a rope and a ladder,
like a makeshift ladder, to get to the 3 different layers. But it was huge. Probably the biggest cave out there that I've ever been in. It was pretty cool, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think, Curtis?
I thought it was really cool. That was one of the coolest caves I've ever been in my life.
Me too. And the other thing that was nice about it was there wasn't graffiti and glow sticks everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think many people even know it exists.
Yeah.
So it was nice not to have all that crap all over the place.
We'd go in there a ways and find a big pile of rocks we'd have to climb over. So we'd send the young kids, hey, go over there and see if it's worth going over.
Make sure there's no monsters.
Yeah. Make sure it's worth me climbing over these rocks. I don't want to climb over there and not have anything. Oh, yeah, keeps going, come over. So we do it again. And we'd walk a ways on flat ground and then another pile of rocks. Climb over there and see if it's worth us going over. And they'd climb over. Yeah, come on, it keeps going. Then it was a big hole that you had to crawl through. How far was that hole? You remember that?
Yeah, I had to kind of belly crawl through it.
It was on your hands and knees.
Kind of weird.
So we sent the kids through and to see if it was worth us crawling through there. Oh, yeah, it opens up. It gets bigger and bigger. Then we go to the end, and there's a ladder. We got to go up the ladder. And we went forever.
I kept expecting it to end at any minute, and it just didn't. It kept going. So I was like, Mike, if this ends up in the government, property, and it's like we open the lid to the cave, and there's Stranger Things stuff going on, that would be so cool.
End up inside the basement of one of the laboratories.
Imagine.
That would be cool.
That would have been awesome.
Such luck, but we sure tried.
Oh, sorry, sir. We don't know what we're doing.
Oh, blue English. That would have been fun, though.
But go ahead and arrest me because I don't want to go home.
Can I go out the exit? I don't want to go back through that. That was pretty cool, though. After we went through it, it was worth the trip out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the ceilings were so high. It was like cathedral-type ceilings, and it was huge.
One of that section, you could tell where the lava had flowed through, and it just, man, it was so pretty.
Yeah.
Top part of that. Man, it was cool.
So we did decide to do an investigation, like an EVP spirit box session when we got to the end. And we didn't get anything at all on EVP or the spirit box. But we then turned everything off and just asked for some knocks. And we got a couple of things that were interesting when we did that.
Does it involve some farting?
No. It involves you making fun of me. I know it's easy.
Just presents itself.
I know. I say stupid stuff.
I really hesitate to take people on these wild goose chases because A, I have no idea where it's at. I'm wandering to find it. And B, if it's a disappointment, I don't want people to be mad at me.
It's never a disappointment to me. I have fun no matter where we go.
That was still fun, though, Curtis, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay, now I'm going to share it. Getting ready for a serious investigation. Let me see if we can do like 2 knocks for those 2 knocks. know what? I'm sick of that. Typical.
Was that 2 knocks for yes and 2 knocks for no?
And then you're like, 2 knocks for yes, 2 knocks for no. I said, yeah.
Took this up a little bit.
This?
Yeah.
You know what? Shut up.
I'm sick of your attitude.
Just clarifying.
I mean, we wanted to confuse the crap out of whoever was there.
We got 2 knocks. What does that mean?
It could mean yes or no.
Yeah, we're geniuses.
Here's the other one. We're still trying to get things set up. It took us forever. Okay, here's the other one.
Hey,
Okay, guys.
shut your pie holes.
Shut your pie holes, kids. We're back.
We have a problem with not shutting our pie holes.
And we have a hard time being quiet. But surprisingly, everybody was really quiet in this session.
I think we were tired.
We've been riding 4-wheelers for 9 hours.
Been hiking for a couple miles up and down these rocks.
Hurdling things and watching out for the stalagmites. Are those ones from the floor?
I don't know.
The stalagmite is from the floor, yes.
So we decided to do just a quiet session, see if we could get some knocks, because we weren't getting anything on anything else. And we honestly, I mean, I didn't know anything about the cave. Did you know any history on it or what?
I couldn't find anything about it. I couldn't even find pictures of it. All I found was a picture of the desert, or on Google, or a picture of the desert, and sometimes that would show up.
So we didn't know what the cave was for, so we were kind of just asking questions and seeing what we could get. Because we asked, Stagecoach Robert, were you a worker? Were you a native that lived in the cave? What did you come here for? Whatever. And we had quite good success the first time we tried this, so we thought we'd try it again. Never know what you're going to find or where you're going to find it, but we got some weird knocks when we asked about the gold.
2 knocks?
It was 2 knocks yes, 2 knocks no, so. This one, so right before I asked the question, Lauren got the name Wyatt came up on her Ovilus. So that brings us to why you're asking this too.
Can you tell us his name? Who do we need to find?
Is it Wyatt? We need to find Wyatt?
You hear those 2 knocks?
I'll do it again.
They're right. Here, I'll amplify them just a little bit. And by the way, there were spots where you can hear the water drip, but you also hear it kind of, I don't know how you splat on the ground. So I could tell the difference between the water dripping and these. And I don't know what these are. I'm not saying that a ghost was knocking, but.
Can you tell us his name? Who do we need to find?
Is it Wyatt? We need to find Wyatt?
There's actually 3 knocks.
Mm-hmm.
And then.
Can you tell us where the gold is?
And everybody was really quiet. Like, nobody made a peep. I was really proud of everybody for holding still that long.
If we go to the other side to the cave, can you talk to us?
Line 10, number 3.
Okay, so there was 2 knocks there. I'm going to amplify them just a tad. And then right after we got those 2 knocks, Sierra got on her Ovilus, it said find him, number 3.
If we go to the other side to the cave, can you talk to us?
Line 10, number 3.
So we know that there were several civil defense caves out there, that some of the lava tubes that they turned into caves. And we know there was at least 16 What? What are you laughing at? What did I?
Tubes they turned into caves.
Oh my hell! Oh, bless my heart.
Bless your heart. It wasn't easy turning them into caves. It was
No,
hard work.
very hard work. I mean, they had to chip away for years. So that's not what I meant to say. I lose my train of thought really quick, and words are really hard for me. I have so much going on up here that I can't make sense of it sometimes. All right, so you take over the civil defense case.
What did you want to say about them?
Well, we know there's at least 16.
Oh, mm-hmm.
We found the 16th cave.
So there's at least 16 of them, yeah.
So was it find him number 3? Was he in the third cave? Or was that the third cave?
Oh, I didn't think of it that way.
That's what I thought of. I don't know why else they'd have a number.
Well, the one cave we did find said cave number 16 of the cave systems where they were doing this. I think this cave should be a civil defense cave because, man, it's huge.
It held tons of people.
If crap goes south, that's a place you could very well hide in for a long, long time.
True. So anyway, I don't know. There was 2 knocks and then a find him number 3.
We need to find the third cave.
Yeah, we need to find out where it's at. Maybe there's somebody buried in it. Maybe Joe's head.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe Joe's head's there.
Ooh, that would be fun to find.
That would be.
We're not weird. We don't just go searching for dead bodies.
But if we found his skull, I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, because they found everything but the skull. Okay, so here's the next one.
Is there gold in this cave?
Short one.
Before we go, can you tell us your name or the name of the person you want us to find? Name?
Oh, so that one, right after I asked that question, we got name on the obelisk.
So you asked, tell us your name, and it said name.
Yeah.
So it's a smart aleck.
Probably related to you.
She's talking to you, Curtis.
No. Well, him too. Both of you. Oh, here's one more.
I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumb ass.
True.
We want to help you before we leave. Is there something that we can do for a loved one that's still alive?
Back 'em?
One knock.
I don't remember hearing those there.
It would have been yes.
That would have been a yes.
1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no.
You're right. You're right. So that would have been a yes.
It was 2 knocks for yes and 2 knocks for no.
You know what? I'm sick of your attitude.
Yeah.
I'm just done.
It was 1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no.
You're right. So apparently he said yes. Of course, I didn't hear any of these at the time, but
I didn't either.
maybe we need to go back. Maybe Wyatt. Maybe he wants us to find Wyatt in cave number 3.
I'd love to find cave number 3.
Me too. But anyway, that is about all we captured there. No cool photos, nothing on the thermal, nothing like that. But, a few words on the obelisk and some possible knocks. But it was sure fun to investigate that cave.
Oh, yeah. It was way fun.
By the time we got out of the cave, it was close to being dark. So we started
What? 7:30? Is that what time it was?
closer to 8.
It'd have been like 8.
I think we were in there.
Was it 8 o'clock?
Because we ate before we went down there, didn't we?
Yeah, we had our chipnik. And you spilled all...
Oh, I love chipmunks.
Yeah, you spilled all my pretzels.
I'm sorry.
And you stole his drink. Didn't he? Somebody stole
No,
his drink.
I
Oh,
stole.
yeah, Diet Coke.
I stole someone's drink. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because you left your can there.
Oh yeah.
That's right. But once we got out, it pretty much stopped raining and it was getting dark. So we were like, okay, we're going to head back to camp now. Good adventure. Let's call it a night. But did
So
we
we
No,
tried.
not for another 4.5 hours.
Well, it took us 9 hours to get there. We drove for 70 miles. So I figured if we go straight back, it's going to be 50 miles and at least 4 hours. So we go about how far? A mile in Michelle's four-wheeler. The fuel pump goes out of it, so I can't get it started.
We didn't know what was wrong with it, though. It just died.
No, at the time we didn't know what was wrong with it.
And she's like,
go ahead.
we were behind her, and she's like, oh, just go ahead. It just needs to cool off, and it'll start again. I'm like, I'm not leaving you out here by yourself. So we didn't leave her.
No. Well, and then it never would start. So she's like, well, just go back and get some and come back and get me for a second. And I'm like, you know what? I will never find you again out here. It'll be pitch black. It's 50 miles one way. I don't think we should leave anybody. So that's the tip for the day from Destination Mystery. Don't leave anybody behind. Go as far as you can with what you got, taking everybody and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I put my tow strap on her four-wheeler, and I pulled her out. I think we went 35 miles, and then I started running out of gas. So now I'm 105 miles, and I've never gone over 98, 99. I'm about out of gas. Right close to that 100-mile mark, I'm out of gas. And this time I was pulling her, 2 kids, and 1 kid with me.
And of course, we didn't have extra gas cans because we thought it wasn't going to take that long or that it was going to be that far. But we were prepared. We packed all of our paranormal gear.
That's what it's.
Also, I remembered all my paranormal gear, but I forgot an extra pair of pants that night. And I was really sad because I got cow poop on them. And I had to borrow
my pants.
But yeah, I mean, we should have been better prepared for sure, because there's no way to. We didn't even know exactly how to get back to camp. Mm. We were just going off of
Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew where the butte was, and we knew where we were from the butte, and that's about it.
We'd have to wait for the lightning to flash so we could see where the butte was.
Yeah.
So we went 35 miles back, and mine started to run out of gas. So we knew we were pretty close. So Melissa and Curtis and my daughter Sierra and Hobbs headed back on the other 2 four-wheelers. And I siphoned gas out of Michelle's and put it into mine. And we siphoned a couple of gallons out of hers. And so I started going again. And we headed down the road, and 5 miles later, we passed another four-wheeler that was abandoned. It ran out of gas.
It was Sierra.
Yeah, Sierra's run out of gas. So the one Curtis had was the only one that had enough gas. But on every other adventure that I've taken that one on, it seems like it used the most gas. But that was the only one that. How many people were on that when you got back to camp?
3. It was us and Sierra.
So, as you know, you told us to go on ahead, and you're kind of telling me, where camp was to where we were, and I was like, okay, I think I can handle that. So we start driving, and then Sierra's so she's behind us, and we're like, this flashes if something goes wrong with your light. Not flashes, but turn the lights on and off. So we know to stop.
This is a family.
Yeah. We race. Jenna said something else. So we were, driving down the road. You tell the story. You were there.
We were going, and did they stop, or they were just way behind us?
She just stopped.
They were just way behind us, and I thought I was just going really fast. So I kept going, and the lights never flickered on and off. They were supposed to turn them on and off if they needed to.
If she did, we didn't see it.
Yeah, if she did, we didn't see it. And I just kept telling mom to look back and make sure. And then they just got too far, so I turned around and went back.
We kind of didn't want to turn around because we didn't know how much gas we had.
Yeah, we didn't know how much gas we had.
But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not leaving her out here by herself.
Yeah.
Because we at least left you with the gun and some warmer clothes, but she wasn't dressed real warm, and neither were we. But I was like, no, we're not leaving her out here, so we got to turn around. It's better to be together then.
Yeah, so we went back and picked her up, and hers was dead. So we put her on the front of ours, turned back around, and then kept going. And how far did we make it? We made it to the stop sign.
And I thought we were supposed to turn left.
And I thought we were supposed to turn right.
We turned left, and then we made it to another stop sign before reaching camp. And I was like, I don't know where we are. And at this point, I started panicking. And Sierra was, were you panicking?
No signs, no internet reception, all we had was the butte when the lightning flashed.
We had the one on the left side of the road, and there was 2 buttes on the right side of the road that we can kind of see because of the red flashing lights.
Yeah, once we got to the dirt road that was kind of a road, that did have stop signs every once in a while, we could see those other buttes. So we weren't anywhere where I thought we were, and so then we made it to the second stop sign, and I was like, I have no idea where we're at. And then I started panicking. I got on my phone to see if I had reception, see if I could find... It was spotty. If I could find like Google Maps to get us back into town. And then I'm like, well, like which direction are we from town? Because even if we drive into town, there's no gas station there. Camper town. I mean, it wasn't even really a town.
You're using the town loosely because it had 3 buildings.
At a bar.
At a bar.
Maybe on her lawnmower.
I don't think that'd have been any help.
Yeah, the lady on the lawnmower driving to the bar.
Driving to the bar from her house.
But there was no gas station, so I'm like, we have to get to camp. So I was like, okay, I feel like we should go left. Curtis is like, I feel like we should go right. What do you think, Sierra? I don't know, I'm panicking.
And then I just said, screw it, let's go left.
So I'm like, okay, we're saying a prayer. We said a prayer, and I said, I feel like we should go left. If that's the right decision, just maybe send me some comfort or whatever. And I got a little bit, not much. But we just decided to go for it. We went left. And I'm glad we did. But it was still another 25 miles.
We turned left, and we went on for 25 miles. From turning left to the campsite was another hour driving.
Yeah.
And I was going 25 the whole time because Sierra was on the front, and I didn't want her.
We didn't want to buck her off.
Plus, the faster you went, the colder it got.
That's true. The faster we went, the colder it got. And we weren't wearing...
We just had on hoodies.
Warm stuff, yeah. We had a hoodie and jeans.
Yeah, it was cold. And I had gotten splashed with cow poop and pee. So my legs were all wet.
And remember the bird that hit me in the face?
Oh, yeah.
We're driving down, and a bird just slapped me right in the face.
Smacked right in the face. I think he killed it.
Where did the pee come from?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was pee. It was mud and poop. And
oh, yeah, you were covered.
I'm sure there's pee.
You were covered.
I was covered. I smelled bad.
I forgot about the bird.
This is what, 2:00 in the morning?
Close to.
It was about 2 o'clock.
So
we didn't get to camp until 3.
Yeah, we finally found it. It was like finding I don't know.
Christmas morning.
It was Christmas morning.
The angels started singing, and we were like, "Oh, we're so glad we made it! We're so happy!" And I was just blown away that our 4-wheeler actually made it that far because we had the smallest gas tank, I think,
and ours used up the most gas as you drove.
Uh-huh. So it was a miracle. We drove 140 miles at least.
Well,
125.
130, right close to 125, 130.
Yeah, it was crazy.
We've never gone that far on a tank of gas before.
Oh, we made it to camp. We grabbed the extra gas cans out of your truck, threw them in my car, which is a little SUV that does really well out in the middle of nowhere. And we just went on that dirt road until we saw you. Which was
heater blasting.
Yeah, we had the heat blasting, and we kept going and going and going. And I'm like, do we seriously drive this far down this road? Yeah, the whole
time I was just surprised that we drove that far.
And I kept thinking at any second we were going to find the road we needed to turn on to come back to you, and it just kept going and going and going. I was like, holy crap. Yeah, it was a little scary, but we finally met up with you, and we filled your tank up. Let the kids hop in my warm car, and then you drove to the next 4-wheeler. We filled that one up, and then you and Michelle drove the 4-wheelers back. We made it back to camp at like 3:34.
No, it was 4 by the time we made it back to camp, and then we made dinner.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think you even ate dinner. You were too tired.
I went to bed right as we got back to camp.
I was starving. A piece of chicken.
Didn't we watch for UFOs that night after that?
I don't think, no, I was freezing. I could not get warm all night long. I sat there and shivered. Yeah, it was a crazy adventure. I've never been that panicked before, ever. We learned
It's just another Tuesday for me.
we learned some good lessons, and we will be more prepared next time.
Yes.
You'll never forget that, though, will you?
No. By the next
I
morning,
didn't believe in prayer before that. I would after that.
it's a miracle.
That's for sure.
I'm not sure how we. I'm so surprised that ours wasn't the first one to run out of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was weird to me. Because the day before that, when we went up to the top of the butte, all of ours were full, and then when we got back, ours was the least full.
Yeah.
We all
Took
had
more gas to fill yours than the rest of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird to me. And then, that's why I thought we were going to run out of gas first.
With each adventure, we like to, what can we do better next time? What evidence did we actually collect? I don't know that there's a whole lot more we could have done in the cave.
And I don't think that we're not going to get activity every single place we go. That place was so remote. I don't think it's had a lot of humans, to be honest.
No. We did see strange lights. We heard weird howls.
Yeah.
But always take a good flashlight, warm clothes, get extra gas,
Water. Know where the hell you're going and how to get back.
And maybe if it's 5 o'clock and you just barely got to your destination, it took you 9 hours to get there. Maybe we should have just gone back and then came back in the morning after we found it. But we didn't, because Mike and I get excited and we want to check it out, and we're stupid sometimes, but
It was worth
I
it.
have no regrets. I enjoyed it.
I was pretty panicked, but I felt like there was a higher power looking out for us, even though we were stupid idiots, and all was well. Yep.
Just got to visit with the cow. Remember that?
Was the cow whisperer.
Oh, yeah.
You tried to feed it a piece of jerky.
Here, have some of your uncle.
Horrible. Of course, there wasn't any vegetation,
Remember,
so
we were just driving down a hill pretty fast, and then the baby cow just jumped out in front of us and almost killed us. Let it flip.
yes. And do you remember that cow we saw the first night heading up to the butte? That was like,
Oh,
it was just sitting on the side of the road, and I think the face was all white. It almost looked like a skeleton,
yeah, it had the skeleton type face.
and its eyes were like bleh, and it was
It looked like it
like
was sick.
drooling. And
It
do
looked like it was sick.
you remember that cow, Mike?
Oh,
It was weird.
yeah.
And the whole way back from the butte, I was like, we don't see that weird cow.
And
I
then,
thought it was it was possessed or something.
well, on the way back, it was really dark outside, and there were the black cows with white faces.
Yeah.
All as you were driving by, you just see a white face fly by your face.
Yeah, it was kind of creepy.
Scared you.
I was hoping that cow didn't knock you off and eat your jerky.
Yeah.
Why'd you kill my uncle? Oh, yeah. So that was our adventure.
An adventure it was.
Thanks for joining us, Curtis. It
Yep,
was
no
fun.
problem.
Destination Mystery is a production of Mystery Media Group. You can find our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Before we go, we want to play a trailer from our good friends at Fire Breathing Kittens.
Are you itching for a good story? Laughter among friends, maybe even a mystery or two? Well, you're in luck. Fire Breathing Kittens is a standalone Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Each episode is a separate 3-hour-long story, like a movie for your ears, so you can listen to these adventures in any order you like. So, join us on a real play D&D quest as we solve mysteries, attempt comedic banter, and enjoy friendship. Fire Breathing Kittens podcast. Fantasy, action, mystery, friendship.
If you enjoy our show, please like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review. We will be introducing other Mystery Media Group guests in our upcoming episodes, along with some weekly bonus material. If you'd like to see more pictures and evidence from our adventures, visit www.destination-mystery.com. You will find a link to our blog, as well as a link for merch and contact information.
Until next time, find your own destination.
And solve the mystery.
This is a production of Mystery Media Group.
Yay!